We love that Mr. O showed up for Fashion Week. Had to.
Oh yeah, I told them about that.
Had to support the queen.
That was so sweet of him.
She didn't fade when the credits rolled, she evolved. When Love Island USA ended, most viewers expected Olandria to ride the typical wave of interviews, post-show live streams, and short-lived brand deals. But instead of chasing every spotlight, she chose a different lane, the runway. The same girl who once walked into the villa in a swimsuit and sunshine energy later walked into New York Fashion Week with posture, poise, and quiet control. It wasn't luck. It was design. Because after the finale, Olandria did what very few reality stars do. She treated her fame like a foundation, not a finish line. She took the fragments of her on-screen story and started building a professional one. That's the part most people miss. Reality TV gives you exposure, but it doesn't give you direction. You have to decide who you'll be once the cameras stop. And Olandria decided fast. She started restudying her craft, taking acting classes, refining her portfolio, aligning her look with editorial fashion instead of influencer trends. No messy oversharing, no controversy farming, just quiet growth. It's the same pattern she followed during her live sessions. The same calm voice, the same awareness of pacing, the same instinct to let moments breathe. That's what carries a person from trending to timeless. And it's why her post-villa glow-up feels so authentic. The lights may have changed, but the spotlight still finds her, because now she controls it. Even Nick noticed the shift. While he was traveling for GreekFest gigs, she was walking photo shoots like they were extensions of her own story. Two careers forming in parallel, both learning how to turn attention into architecture.
Oh, thank you. I enjoyed the campaign too, like the Y2K vibes. Not me trying to look over these gifts. Trying to see the comments. Midnight blue. Is that like a blue black? I can get behind that. Do I want to be a model in the future? Yes, I do. I do. That's one of the many things that I want to do. I think when you're, seeking longevity when it comes to career, you have to try out different things. You can't just box yourself into just one thing. So I never want to just be like, I just want to be a model. Yes, and some, Gotta have a strategy. You are a model. I know that's right. Thank y'all. Speak it. You're so right. Oh yeah, the eyebrow piercing was kind of not real. But it had me thinking hold on. Why can I kind of can get behind this? Even my mama was like, wait, that's kind of tea. And mind you, my mama real strict. I was shocked she said it. All right, next Victoria's Secret model, speak it. Let's keep speaking it. Yeah, it was really, really cute. I was so mad when I woke up and it was gone.
When people say from villa to runway, it sounds poetic. But behind the poetry was 1,000 hours of logistics. Casting calls, styling rehearsals, brand meetings, and still showing up online like nothing had changed. That balance, keeping composure while rebranding in real time, is what turned Olandria from a personality into a professional. So no, she didn't just leave the show and get lucky. She studied the system, learned how to work it, and built a lane most reality stars never even reach. And that's where the next chapter begins. Because while she was mastering the runway, Nick was mastering the road. The cameras turned off, the island lights faded, and for the first time in months, Olandria was alone with her thoughts. No producers, no microphones, no one directing the next move. That silence hits every reality star eventually. Some chase the noise to fill it. Olandria didn't. She rebuilt herself inside it. Once the Villa chapter ended, she didn't try to keep the TV version alive. She quietly retired the character and started studying the person behind it. No more reactive posts, no endless Q&As explaining her every feeling. Instead, she focused on structure, building habits, defining direction, and finding purpose beyond perception. She went back to training both mentally and creatively.
Do I want to be a model in the future? Yes, I do. I do. That's one of the many things that I want to do. I think when you're, seeking longevity when it comes to career, you have to try out different things. You can't just box yourself into just one thing. So I never want to just be like, I just want to be a model. Yes, and some, Gotta have a strategy. You are.
Oh, why did I take acting classes? Submitted something for a really cool show. It was really cool.
Nick.
Alright, I'm gonna
Acting classes, brand strategy sessions, modeling rehearsals. To her, post-show life wasn't a victory lap. It was pre-season for something bigger. You can hear it in how she speaks now. Slower, more deliberate, as if every word has a destination. Because being known isn't the same as being positioned. Fame without focus fades fast. So she started separating the two, letting her personality stay warm and spontaneous, while her brand became sleek, intentional, and forward-facing. It's the same reason she no longer responds to every rumor or fan theory. Silence became her filter. She doesn't feed speculation, she redirects it into momentum. That's why when people call her mysterious, it's not about secrecy, it's about ownership. This rebuild wasn't about changing who she is, it was about refining how she shows up. She started blending the real with the aspirational, keeping her humor, her softness, her connection with fans, but pairing it with the professionalism of someone who knows she's on a timeline. And that's what separates a short-term influencer from a long-term icon. Discipline disguised as charm. Olandria turned introspection into infrastructure. By the time most people realized she'd gone quiet, she was already preparing her next visual era. Perfecting her look, testing partnerships, deciding what Olandria 2.0 would sound and feel like. And while she was laying that foundation, Nic was doing the same thing on the road, taking the exposure from the show and transforming it into live energy, bookings, and stage presence. They weren't chasing virality anymore. They were converting attention into assets. And that's exactly why her post-show reset didn't look like rest. It looked like evolution. Because once you rebuild your identity, you can start expanding it. And that's where the story moves next. To the noise, the travel, and the crowds that turn Nic's calendar into a moving festival. While Olandria was building her lane on the runway, Nic was building his on the road. His version of quiet looked nothing like hers. It was crowds, speakers, and a whirlwind of campus lights known as GreekFest. GreekFest isn't just a college event, it's a cultural marathon.
Nic is in Chicago. He has a lot of stops this week because he's wrapping up GreekFest, so he is like extremely busy. I'm extremely busy. So yeah, he's wrapping up that. Let me see. Bob Landria. I love that my name goes with everything. Like, that is so funny. I love it. Yes, homecoming is this week. It came so fast. Super excited to be with my girls. I'm so happy. I have not been able to like party and like really spend time with my friends.
Every stop means new faces, new energy, and barely any sleep. For Nic, it was both a stage and a testing ground. Between sets, he'd go live, sometimes from airports or hotel rooms, trying to stay connected with the same fans who watched him on television. You could see the exhaustion and excitement fighting for space on his face, the kind of hustle that comes from chasing momentum while still trying to figure out what success even looks like. He wasn't just showing up for the music, he was proving he could hold a room without a TV script. That's the hardest part of post-show life, learning how to perform when no one's directing you. Every crowd was different. One night it was a packed university gym, the next it was a small outdoor festival under the Chicago sky. But the reaction was always the same. Fans shouting, phones flashing, people screaming his and Olandria's names as if they were still in the villa. The chemistry that started as entertainment had turned into brand currency. And while he was navigating sound checks and schedules, she was navigating cameras and campaigns. Two different stages. Same goal, to stay visible, not because of nostalgia, but because of evolution. Nic turned what could have been a post-show slowdown into a career accelerator. Every event became a networking opportunity, meeting DJs, campus promoters, brand reps, and creatives who saw him as more than a reality star. He wasn't just performing, he was planting seeds. That's how careers survive after the spotlight dims, by rebuilding relevance in real rooms, not just online. And while Olandria's world revolved around lights, lenses, and runways, Nic's world moved to the rhythm of speakers and crowds. Two paths that couldn't look more different, yet every time they'd reconnect on live, that energy merged perfectly again. Because while she brought the poise, he brought the pulse. And together, they turned a post-show relationship into a real-world partnership, built on ambition, not attention. But touring life comes with a cost. Distance, scheduling chaos, and weeks of being in motion while still trying to stay connected. And that's where their story takes its next turn. How two people with completely opposite schedules still found a way to stay in sync. Distance usually kills momentum, but for Olandria and Nic, it became fuel. While most couples, or even collaborators, struggle to stay aligned when work takes them to different cities, these two learned how to time their energy instead of forcing it. They weren't trying to be constantly visible together, they were trying to build longevity separately and reconnect when it actually mattered. You could see it in the way they talked about each other on live. No over-explaining, no endless reassurance. Just subtle updates dropped between laughs. She'd say, "He's wrapping up GreekFest." And he'd say, "She's been busy getting everything ready for November." No tension, no spectacle, just two people who understood that growth sometimes means missing calls, not missing purpose. That's rare in the creator world, where every partnership is broadcast, branded, and monetized. They've turned distance into discipline, proving that when both calendars are full, consistency matters more than proximity. Nic was on the road, performing and networking across states. Olandria was balancing shoots, partnerships, and preparing her next public rollout. And yet somehow, the chemistry stayed unshaken. Because what most people see as separation, they used as synchronization. Each live they did together felt like a soft reunion. Spontaneous, funny, natural, no forced smiles, no camera staging, just rhythm. Fans loved it because it didn't feel planned, it felt earned. And that's the key difference between content chemistry and creative partnership. One fades when the algorithm shifts, the other adapts when life does. They don't need to prove their connection with constant posts. Their timing does it for them. He finishes a show, she starts a campaign. He goes quiet, she goes live. When one rests, the other runs. It's like an unspoken relay, never dropping the baton, just changing hands. That kind of coordination doesn't happen by luck. It happens when two people are chasing the same North Star, stability. And that's why this stage of their story matters more than the first. Because the villa was chemistry, but the tour and the travel, that's coordination. They're not building headlines anymore, they're building infrastructure. And what started as a romantic storyline is turning into a professional blueprint. But even the strongest rhythm needs an audience to feed it. And what keeps theirs alive isn't just timing, it's the community they've built along the way. Every great story eventually turns into a brand. But for Olandria and Nic, it didn't happen in a boardroom. It happened in comment sections, meet and greets, and late-night live streams. Their audience didn't just watch them, they built them. The fans coined nicknames, made edits, started hashtags, and even created their own lingo. Pixielandria, Mr. O, Soul Tie Day. What began as spontaneous fan love soon became a structured community identity. That's how real branding starts. Not with a logo, but with language. Every small fan interaction was a spark. Remember the gift floods that covered the screen? To most creators, that's chaos. To them, it was market research. Each gift, comment, and trend told them exactly what their audience valued. The tone, the humor, the kind of energy that drives engagement. Then came the in-person proof. At GreekFest, Nic's meet and greets turned into pop-up events. Fans showed up with homemade shirts, handwritten notes, and inside joke signs. And while it looked like fun, it was also data, proof that their reach had crossed screens and entered the real world. Meanwhile, Olandria brought that same community energy into fashion. When she walked at NYF, her fans didn't just repost, they turned the runway clips into mini campaigns. They captioned them like ad copy, gave them trending hashtags, and drove them into circulation far beyond the show itself. That's not just fandom, that's unpaid brand amplification. The smartest part? They never tried to force sell anything to that audience. No constant promo codes or shoutouts. They kept it organic, building connection first, commerce later. Because when people feel emotionally included, you don't need to chase conversion. It happens naturally. Now, every inside joke and live stream callback is part of a bigger brand language. The gifts, the polls, the nicknames, they're not just fun, they're foundational. They're what make Nicolandria feel less like a ship name and more like a movement. And that's where the shift happens. When fan culture matures into brand culture. When community energy becomes creative equity. When the audience stops being spectators and starts being stakeholders. That's how Olandria and Nic turned fandom into infrastructure. And that structure is exactly what's fueling their next move. Because behind the laughter, the live chaos, and the stay tuned teasers, there's a real system forming. one built on control, consistency, and connection. And the next part of their story shows exactly how they're managing that system, one live at a time. At first glance, their lives looked unpredictable. Live stream glitches, gift floods, and 1,000 moving parts that never seemed to sync. But what fans saw as chaos, Olandria and Nic were quietly using as testing grounds. Every small moment of confusion, every lag, every crash, every "can y'all hear me?" became part of a bigger experiment, figuring out how to run their careers like a system, not a guessing game. Because fame, once you have it, can swallow you whole if you don't manage it. And they learned that the hard way. When Olandria's live nearly froze from the flood of fan gifts, she didn't panic. She laughed, adjusted, muted the noise, and kept talking like a pro. That's not randomness. That's real-time control. She was learning how to manage virality before it manages her. Then came Nic, balancing shows, travel, and live streams mid-tour. He wasn't just keeping up appearances, he was training for scalability, how to maintain presence even when your schedule doesn't allow rest, how to stay connected when half your life happens in airports and venues. These small, unfiltered moments show why they've survived where most post-show creators fade. They evolve while everyone else tries to replicate. Behind the scenes, their digital operation has matured. They've tested sub-only chats, experimented with moderation filters, and figured out how to use lives not as randomness, but as engagement drills. When things went wrong, they didn't complain. They took notes. That's what growth really looks like in creator culture. It's not just follower counts. It's learning the boring, operational side of success. The tech, the timing, the tone. Because big opportunities don't fail from lack of talent. They fail from lack of systems. And what makes Olandria and Nic different is that they've been building those systems live, in real time, with their audience watching every adjustment. Their chemistry might pull viewers in, but their structure is what keeps them there. They've reached the point where everything from posting cadence to comment moderation feels strategic, even when it looks spontaneous. They're not just content creators anymore, they're creative directors of their own ecosystem. Every laugh, every pause, every live interaction fits inside a broader vision. It's the transformation that every viral personality eventually faces. You can either stay reactive or you can start operating. And that's exactly what they're doing. Quietly scaling, refining, and mastering their machinery while everyone else still thinks they're improvising. But here's the thing. All this behind-the-scenes control only matters if it leads somewhere bigger. And judging by what they're both hinting at, the next phase isn't about maintenance, it's about expansion. Every phase of their journey so far, the villa, the live streams, the tour stops, the brand appearances, has felt like chapters leading towards something bigger. And now, that something is starting to take shape. Olandria's not just modeling anymore, she's building a portfolio that moves. The acting class she casually mentioned on live, that wasn't small talk. It was her way of signaling that she's ready to move beyond still shots and start owning the screen. It's a smart pivot. The runway gave her image, the camera will give her range. And you can already see the mindset shift. She's talking about longevity, about doing things that will feed people for months, not moments. When creators start thinking in seasons instead of weeks, it means they're preparing to scale. That's why she started expanding her creative circle. Stylists, photographers, digital teams, all with one goal: to make every drop feel cinematic. No more random posts, no more spontaneous chaos. Everything now looks like it belongs to a brand that's about to be much bigger than just a personal name. Meanwhile, Nic's story mirrors that same expansion. He's not just DJing events, he's building a touring identity. GreekFest opened the door, but now he's talking about creating experiences that feel owned, not borrowed. A mini tour, a live series, or even a brand crossover wouldn't be far-fetched. Together, they've begun exploring more structured content ideas. YouTube vlogs, cooking challenges, lifestyle setups, and at-home decor projects that showcase their personalities offstage. These aren't random ideas. They're revenue streams disguised as relatability. Because in this new creator economy, you don't chase sponsorships, you become the sponsor. And that's where they're headed. Every small clip, every design choice, every live they host now feels like a test run for a bigger rollout, a blueprint for the next level of independence. It's not about being influencers anymore, it's about being brands that influence. And what makes their story even more compelling is how intentional they've been about pacing. They're not rushing to announce everything at once. They're letting each new move breathe, giving the audience time to absorb one layer before revealing the next. Because when you want to build something that lasts, you don't flood the feed, you build a sequence, and that sequence is already unfolding. fashion, acting, touring, lifestyle content, and eventually, ownership. It's the kind of expansion that feels slow to casual viewers until it all lands at once. Then everyone says they came out of nowhere, but the truth is, they've been building it right in front of us. Quietly, strategically, consistently. And that brings us to the real takeaway. What all this growth is leading toward, and what it really means for the Olandria and Nic legacy going forward. If you rewind to the very beginning, to that sunlit villa, to the first time their names flashed on screen, no one could have predicted this. What started as chemistry became momentum. What began as a storyline turned into a structure. And now, what they've built looks less like a love story and more like a legacy. Because this was never just about staying relevant, it was about creating something that lasts, something that outlives the show, the trends, even the platforms. Olandria's transformation from contestant to creative powerhouse wasn't random. It was a blueprint, one made of small, consistent steps. The acting classes, the runways, the filtered lives, the refusal to over-explain. Every quiet choice pointed toward longevity. Nic's path mirrored it in his own way. The DJ sets, the late nights, the tour stops, every one of them proved that energy and precision can coexist. He turned exposure into endurance. Together, they learned that success doesn't always look like noise. Sometimes it looks like structure. The villa gave them visibility, but the real world gave them vision. They're not performing for an audience anymore. They're building for a generation, one that values connection, creativity, and control. Their fans aren't just followers. They're witnesses to a story that's still unfolding. Because every live stream, every runway walk, every campus crowd has been leading here to a space where they call the shots, own the narrative, and decide what comes next. The glow up was never about glamour. It was about growth. It was about knowing when to step back, when to speak up, and when to let the work do the talking. And now, as the runway lights fade and the tour banners come down, they stand exactly where they were always meant to be. Not just as names from a show, but as builders of something that finally feels like their own. From villa to vision. That's the story. Not just of survival after fame, but of mastering it. And if their last 2 years are any sign, the next chapter won't just be about what they do next. It'll be about how far they've already come.